My name is Angela Kollmer. I am a stilt walker, costumer, sewist, novice embroiderer, and a painter only if the project calls for it. When I made my first costume, I had a ton of leftover material. I bought 3 extra yards of fabric, a whole roll of trim I didn't use, and a mostly unused packet of buttons. Those leftovers grew into a stash, and that stash grew into a problem. Luckily, I stumbled upon the scrap exchange in Durham, North Carolina, and discovered the magic of creative reuse. I walked into an arts and crafts store that was floor to ceiling full of vintage fabrics, beautiful oil pastels, other people's family photos, and a bunch of other things I would have never thought to use in an art project. I was able to donate my problem stash and get everything I needed for my next costume at a fraction of what I would have spent elsewhere. Years later, when I moved to Charlotte, I was floored that nothing like that existed here. Did you know there's a creative reuse center within 2 hours of Charlotte in every cardinal direction, but our city didn't have one? That is, until 2020, when I founded Upcycle Arts, Charlotte's first creative reuse center. We opened our first commercial storefront in April of last year, and in our first 8 months, we received 33,085 pounds worth of donated art supplies, with an individual record donation of 1,200 pounds. Yes, that is a manatee's worth of quilting supplies from one person. Most of our donations are from individual Charlotteans. These are people who never got around to making that project, parents whose kids are getting older and are no longer interested in coloring, or people whose loved ones have passed that were avid crafters throughout their lifetime. We keep these materials out of the landfill, and in turn, Charlotte gets access to quality creative materials at a huge discount. In fact, our customers tell us that they can create more often and experiment with new materials and new art forms because we are so affordable. In our first 8 months, we received 464 donations, though that number is likely double. We started teaching art workshops in October, and by the end of the year, we had 120 attendees. Last year, over 5,600 people purchased our secondhand art supplies. Our first year has shown that Charlotte wants and needs Upcycle Arts. Especially in times like these, when stores like Joann Fabrics and Cheap Joe's Art Stuff is closing, it's important that we keep art supplies accessible for Charlotte. We are Charlotte's only answer for keeping creative materials out of the landfill. Upcycle Arts is an essential community resource that needs personnel support and capital to grow. We are always looking for motivated members of the community to join our board and help strengthen our business. We are already outgrowing our store in our first year, and with this gift, we can afford a larger space where we can take more donations, host more programming, and work with local businesses to keep their waste out of the landfill. So help us grow creative reuse in Charlotte, because it's good for your art and good for the earth.
You did a great job, Angela. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of creatives in the room that are currently thinking about what they have at home. Thank you for presenting, and we are going to bring out our next presenter after you.